Well, basically, the Ukrainian officials are saying that Russian forces are trying to maximize territorial gains. So we're looking at an area starting from the northeast all the way down to the south. So it's a crescent-shaped sort of area we're looking at from Kharkiv all the way down to Odessa. The Ukrainian side is saying that Russians want to move westwards from Donbas region to try and capture some of the territory they had lost earlier. They've managed to recapture some of the villages. And also, as you move to the southeast of the country, from there, they're trying to consolidate their position all the way around Kherson and beyond. Now, the Ukrainian government says and believes that it's not just all the way up to Odessa, where the Russians are going to stop, but they're already destabilizing to the west of Ukraine. You have the breakaway region of Moldova. This is where Ukraine believes Russia is the one instigating trouble, and they believe that Russia would then be in a position to destabilize Ukraine from two fronts, from the east and from the west, from this breakaway region. They are making gains in the Donbas region, especially if you look around Luhansk. This is where they've managed to capture some of the villages. Earlier, the Ukrainian forces had made an attempt to push back the Russian forces, but the primary reason is the reinforcements that have been coming from the east. Whereas when you look at the Ukrainian forces, in some areas, they're not in a position to get reinforcements. They don't have the required air support for their advancements, and that of course is giving an advantage to the Russian forces. If you move towards the northeast of the country in Kharkiv, this is where Russians continue to shell different areas. You move down to the southeast of the country in Mariupol. This is where Ukrainian side is saying that despite various claims coming out of Moscow, the Russian forces continue to shell Mariupol, particularly the area around the steel plant. They are making gains in. If you talk to the Ukrainian government here, they say that for the UN Secretary General to visit Russia first and then head to Ukraine is illogical, as we've heard earlier from the Ukrainian president. The Ukrainian side believes that the UN Secretary General should have come to Kiev first, talk to the government here, and then head for Moscow. So in terms of the way it started off, is not something that Kiev really welcomes. And Kiev says that the matter is very clear. There's a clear violation of the sovereignty of Ukraine. It's clear from the international perspective, and there really isn't much to discuss from Ukrainian perspective. So I think the mood here really is that it's going to be the use of hard power that's going to be changing the equation. And I think if you look at some of the recent statements from Ukrainian officials, they don't really show much hope for the talks to achieve anything. If you talk to officials here are saying that it seems to them that Russia wants to expand the war theater. They're saying that Russia's initial objectives had been to capture Kiev. After not being successful there, they say that Russia is now going after soft targets. Now, what we saw earlier this morning here in Lviv was 4 missiles striking different areas. Now, according to the regional military administration, one of the missiles that struck the tire shop and a car showroom, we visited that area earlier. Media is not allowed to do live broadcasts from there, but what we witnessed there was quite a bit of infrastructure damage, devastation. So it wasn't just the car showroom and the tire shop that was destroyed. Vehicles that had been parked around there were destroyed. Also, one of the power lines of the railways was damaged. Authorities are saying that it seems to them that the Russians were trying to target the railway station, and also they say that Russians also want to target food processing plants and food storage facilities. So this is the assessment here, and they believe that more attacks are coming in this part of the country as well. The Ukrainian side believes that Russia has basically launched the much anticipated fresh assault that they said Russia was preparing for. They are saying that overnight Russia multiplied the shelling, the missile attacks, and also there was a lot of ground troop mobilization around that area. They said that fresh troops have been moving in from the east, from across the border in Russia, and they've been closing in on the Donbas region as a whole. Now, the Russian side is saying that it's fired more than 1,200 missiles. They're also claiming that they've shot down a MiG-29, a Ukrainian MiG-29. No confirmation from the Ukrainian side on the shooting down of that fighter jet at the moment, but they're saying that a fresh assault certainly has started. We've heard earlier from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. He said that this is the assault Russia had been preparing for some time, and he basically goes on to say that now is the time to continue to fight and that his forces will fight for as long as they can. The latest development in that region is that the city of Crimea is now under the control of the Russian forces. Regional authorities have confirmed that. They've said that the Russian forces have moved in and taken complete control of that. So it's very likely that they're now going to push westwards, where there are pockets where they already have some sort of control. They're trying to consolidate their position. Basically, you're looking at this crescent from Kharkiv all the way down to Kherson that would complete this channel linked to Russia, to the Russia mainland. So from a strategic point of view, it's quite clear what the Russians are trying to do. Ukrainian side is saying that the forces are concentrated in the eastern region at the moment. They've moved a lot of their forces to that area as well. But there, of course, are a number of challenges, logistical challenges and other challenges that the Ukrainian side is facing. They're saying that Russia is using its might in terms of the artillery's fire, in terms of the air support that it's providing to its forces on the ground. That really is posing quite a challenge. But as you've mentioned earlier, the Ukrainian leadership is saying that they are going to fight for as long as they can. The latest update from Mariupol is that the people who had been gathering at the agreed meeting point to leave as part of a convoy, they have been assembling there. We don't have any updates on whether they've been able to leave yet or not. The authorities had been saying that they're trying to get a maximum number of people. They have limited buses, but they had asked people to come in and join the convoy in their private vehicles. They were saying that there were some issues with the Russian authorities on the number of people that they were letting to be a part of the convoy. So there's no update on that front. The local administration is saying they're trying to ultimately get around 100,000 people out. Of course, that's not going to happen in a day or even a week. It's going to take time. But they're saying that the pace of these convoys leaving Mariupol is very slow.
Может спать спокойно. Да, время
плохо, что связи нет.
Поэтому мы добрые.
Пацаны, ну а как по-другому? Я не сомневался, что
Не, мы не хотим, если родители в Славянске увидят, не дай бог по новостям, они не знают, в каком аду.
Так наоборот, из-за девочки снимают.
А что не так?
Нет, я говорю, что добавила, чтобы они пришли. Запасы со старого этого.
Может, с привозили?
Ваш тазик закипел.
Саша,
Да у вас есть
наоборот,
дядя. Для кого это? А мы в речь пламенную подготовили. Да, у нас есть. Пробу будете снимать?
Не, зачем? Я покушал.
Я уйду.
Правду показывайте, покажите им правду.
Достопримечательность Мариуполя.
Типа,
Давай замена его яблоку.
ні. Ми стараємося.
Коли вийти наконец-то безопасно.
Ми тут за список єдине писали. І мені мамуся і татуся пообіцяли, коли ми вийдемо, купити красивий подарунок. І граємося ігру.